Hello and welcome to episode 213 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers, talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular, the online client, MTG Arena.
That is right, and this week, we're talking about some more spoilers for Avatar the Last Airbender. Very excited for this new set. Can't wait for the new one to come out. Normally, we would be having a happy hour this week, but it's kind of a sad hour, in fact. Because the Spider-Man / Through the One Path set was not super happy, but we do, of course, still have to talk about our Pack Zero Pick 1 challenge and the Worthless Lots, so we will be doing that at the end of this episode, so stay tuned if you're interested in any of that. But of course, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap?
Alrighty, so semi-recently I made a trip back to my hometown of Ottawa, and I picked up a bunch of beers from local breweries around there. This one is from Beyond the Pale, and at the time I thought it would make sense to pick up an Oktoberfest-inspired lager, thinking that we probably would drink it in October. But here we are. And it was very recently October. So
it was. Jeff, I think you're giving yourself, you're really just like beating yourself up a little bit too much. We are so close. It's not even December. It could be much worse.
Yeah, we could have done way worse on that. So
yeah. We have done way worse on that too. So
as long as it's, I feel like a pumpkin beer would be more egregious. So an Oktoberfest beer in November is, still acceptable. But
that's why we had to do the pumpkin one last week.
Did
so
have
it's perfect.
To.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, let's crack this open and let's get it going. Ooh, it spit all over me.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Okay, that's okay. We're good. The best thing about these Oktoberfest beers is that I do really like them. So
I'm kind of a recent convert on it. I don't know if I ever really tried them before. And then
I didn't really think about them very much, but I feel like this year and last year I was like much more interested in them.
Same.
So I'm glad we're getting a bunch. Ooh. Oh yeah. All right, we have some Magic news. Tomorrow, the full card image gallery for Avatar the Last Airbender is live. So that means every single card is available to be seen for the set, which is pretty exciting. As well, I'm an ambassador for the set, so I have seen the cards for a while, but I'm excited to talk about them finally, so I can I don't have to keep anything a secret anymore.
Must be such a weight off your shoulders.
It is. And if you're interested in all of my thoughts on those, I have put out a complete limited set review, which talks about every single card, all the commons, uncommons, rares, mythics, of everything in the set. That's up on YouTube, so you can go check it out. I'm regular Zach over there on YouTube, so go see those. But of course, we're going to be talking about them here, but in different contexts. The reason this is interesting is because I've only been thinking about limited. Now we get to talk about constructed, and I can't wait to hear what cards you're excited about, mostly, of course. So that will be very exciting. Also, next week, November 12th, is the streamer event. So the first time you can see the cards being played. Go check that out. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So, yeah. But, Jeff, new sets are awesome. But what would you say if I told you that you could play a competitive sealed format for a really old non-standard set? What would you think about that?
I would say that's a weird thing to do. Oh, you mean like a Modern Horizons or something, like a big set like that?
No, not like Modern Horizons, like just a regular, like a standard set. But it's just no longer
Modern
in
Horizons
standard.
3, right?
Yeah, that made sense. They also had like Outlaws of Thunder Junction, which is standard, so that's nice. But no, what I'm talking about is that we're doing an Arena Direct event for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. cool.
Okay.
It's this one's a little bit more of a head scratcher. This feels more like they just found a bunch of boxes in a warehouse or something, right? Like that's what it kind of feels like
They're
to
really
me.
pushing the boundaries on this one. Like, I've been trying to, like, we all know the ultimate justification is that people do not like the current limited format. And
Yes.
so they don't want to make the events for that format, but they do want to still have these events. So they're trying to find other ways to do it, which I appreciate. But this one is a little like Pioneer's like a dead format. Okay, they basically killed it. This is not standard legal, and as far as I know, this is not a heavily sought after set for Eternal formats. Maybe I could be wrong about that.
I know. I
But
think you're right. I mean, like besides the lands, like you're looking for Boseiju and like Otawara and stuff. Those are played in some
yeah,
formats,
those are all right.
like Fringe.
Yeah.
Like you would play like a copy, and then
I mean, Boseiju is like the
Fable.
best card in this set, so
Yeah. So that was basically what you're looking for. Okay,
appropriately rated.
Jeff. Do we have to bring this up every single time we talk about this set?
Hey, Wizards did it. They brought up the set. I'm just,
That's true. That is true. But you
and
brought
you
up the
said
fact.
Boseiju, so
I know. I was just trying to make a point. Blah, blah, blah. If you did, okay. I said that Boseiju was overrated when this set came out, and in fact, people should have been freaking out about it, and they were right to do so. But yeah, what you're saying is like Pioneer's dead, and like Fable the Mirror Breaker is a big Pioneer card. So like that would be one of the big reasons why you'd want a box of these cards.
yeah.
So it's just kind of it's just one of those weird. Oh, okay. All
Like
right.
I don't know who's after these boxes, basically.
Yeah, it really just feel like they're just trying to offload them.
And I remember the limited format. Like my memory is a little foggy on it, but I remember it being generally not bad. But it was a little weird. Like you could be mono red.
It was good.
if I remember correctly. Like mono
You could
red
be
was
mono-
one of the better decks. Weirdly,
It was-
but it was hard to get into because, like,
It was one of those things where like red wasn't very good paired against anything else, but it was good by itself. It was
right.
like
And so you
because
so you could draft mono red because no one else wanted red. And you
Exactly,
would just pick
yeah.
up, and then your deck was actually good. But if someone else was trying to do that, then both decks would suck. And so it's
I do remember like a couple of decks that I had built that were like all 1s and 2 drops, and like I basically didn't play 3 drops, and that was how I won a lot of games, was just doing that.
I guess in sealed, it's probably not going to happen. But
Probably not going to happen. Yeah. But yeah, it's I still like these Arena Direct events. I just think that this one's so strange.
yeah,
Like do murders or do anything. But why are we doing non-standard ones?
I think there's a cool thing of like I haven't played this format in years. Let's jump in competitively kind of thing. I think either that has to be just a phenomenal limited set, like maybe if you in a few years, if they throw Duskborn out there, be like, oh, I remember that being really awesome. Let's jump into that.
Yeah.
Or it needs to be just a touch more like even OTJ I think was a little pushing it in terms of like getting me really interested. I did jump in on one of those and I just wasn't really engaged, and I lost to the like Gravedigger that makes all your creatures cheaper like every time. It's
Yeah.
just what I lost to
Honest Rutstein, yeah.
both times. I won all games where my opponent didn't cast that card, and I lost all games where my opponent did.
That's because that card's really good. And Golgari
Yeah.
was good in that.
Yeah, and
set
they were
as
like
well.
looping it with the stupid Badger or whatever, and I was just like, okay, well, I guess I didn't draw a removal spell, so fuck me. But
I mean that is what
And
that set is. That set is 100%. If you didn't draw your removal spell, you're dead. So
yeah, but it was like kind of cute, but it was just like I don't know. Either the set needs to be awesome, or there's a sort of limit to how far back you can push it on these things. Because I have to still be like remember how the set works. You know?
yeah, or at least give us a little bit more time, because with this one, so if you want to practice for this next week, the 11th, when we have the new, on whatever Tuesday when they do their updates, we are getting like a week of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty flashback drafts. Like they are giving that to us. So you do have a couple days to prepare for the Arena Direct, which I think is fun. I think that's a good way to do it, where it's like, okay, we'll give them some time, but maybe, if you want to make it a little bit more competitive, like a week of like jamming drafts to get really prepped and ready could be a little bit more helpful than like 3 days,
Yeah.
because then it's weird. Then you have a weird thing of like, I know it doesn't line up right because normally they lose events on Tuesdays, right? The normal ones. So it's like, you don't want to have 3 days before the event. It's not up, but it is weird to have, hey, do you want to play Kamigawa Neon Dynasty on like Monday and Tuesday when the event's over? It's a little strange, but I guess it's not that big a deal. I don't have to be that nitpicky, but maybe some more time making these a little bit like we find out about these like so last minute that it would mean more to me if it was like with an old set like this. Like I don't hate that there's doing an old set, but like if they gave us time to be like, hey, this is happening, it's going to be cool, get ready, as opposed to just do something on the weekend. It's the Avatar the Last Airbender pre-release weekend. If you can't go to that, you can play Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. You know what I mean? Like it's like okay.
And for me, like I haven't liked the current limited set.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super engaged or like super excited to play standard because it kind of feels. This happens to me generally with rotation. Like I won't really play a few weeks right before rotation because I'm like, well, we know what the best decks are, and that's all going to change. And I'm excited for when that changes.
But there's
there's no like that, but
there's not an event you're preparing for. Yeah, there's nothing happening.
Yeah, I don't want to play this. It's just even though there's like no real reason not to, it just doesn't feel as exciting. And so what I'm looking for
real reason. That's a real reason not to play. It's not exciting. Yeah.
And so I'm looking for these events to give me like something I'm excited to play. And so then I just have to wait until like Wednesday or whatever it is, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then be like, oh, it's Neon Dynasty. I guess I'm just not playing because I don't really want to play anything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And it's fine if that happens. Like sometimes there's a weekend where I just don't want to play any of the formats they're offering. There's a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Like it just doesn't intersect with my interests. But it's happened a few times in a row now where I'm just like, I haven't played really in a while because there just hasn't been anything I wanted to play.
Yeah. Yeah, that is hard for sure. But hey, anyway, if this is your jam, if this is something you want to do,
if you loved Neon Dynasty, then this is awesome, right?
I mean, my biggest thing is that I love Neon Dynasty because we had the Arena Decathlon during that, and I won.
Right.
So I got one of every card when the set came out. And so now I'm thinking, do I really need to play a sealed format where I actually own every single card on Arena of that? So is it literally me just joining a sealed event to be like, I guess, do I just get all gems for my rares? So then it's like, is it cheaper that way because I get every rare and mythic I get is like 20 or 40 gems? Is that how it works? And then my vault goes up, and then I could get some in paper, and maybe I just start my conquest of now I want a playset of every single card in paper too. Like, is that is that what I'm gonna do?
Just gotta win so many boxes.
So anyway, that is like my weird feeling with it, because sometimes it's like, oh, it's kind of nice. Like I know we don't talk about this very much, but there is a thing on Arena that like shows you how much you've completed on your sets or whatever, and it feels kind of nice sometimes to just rare complete a couple. Not mythic, because it's a lot harder to do that, but like just, a couple of them get rare completed. So if you're like, I don't have all the rares from the set, jumping into a sealed thing, even if I lose, you get some of the cards. You're okay. It's like it's all kind of part of your collection. But when it's literally like you already have these, it just feels kind of strange.
We will give you a paltry amount of gems for your troubles.
So it's like, okay, this is kind of a weird. Then it feels kind of weird for me. So that's what I'm kind of grappling with right now. It's like, I don't actually need any of this.
There are no
So
cards I need from this set.
can't even be excited about opening anything. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Um, anyway, those are my kind of thoughts about the whole Neon Dynasty Arena Direct thing. But yeah. Anyway, what's really exciting is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Man, this this is gonna be great. So it's a normal size set, which is fantastic. We have a bonus sheet of 61 cards. That's also really exciting. There's a bunch of cards on the bonus sheet that are coming to Arena for the first time, which is really exciting. Obviously, they're not standard legal, but they will be played in some formats. And we talked a bit about historic last week, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But there's a couple interesting cards that are coming in. I don't know. It's always an exciting time, and I think the actual design of this set, like we were saying last week, feels so good to me. Even just reading the cards, whether the actual power of it isn't strong enough or whatever, you don't know that. But reading a lot of these comments and uncommons, or just any of the cards, you're just like, man, there's a lot of great thought put into this, and it really shows. And it reminds me, man, Magic is awesome when people have the time to put it together. And it really sucks when people just throw it together at the last minute. Like, it's really bad.
It's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave us that reminder of how bad it can be.
Yeah. So now I feel very grateful.
Yeah, this is kind of just, as someone who is not super engaged with this franchise, and I knew a little bit about Final Fantasy, but not a ton. This is reminding me of previous season for Final Fantasy, where there's all these characters, there's a lot going on, but a lot of it seems very cool and flavorful, and people are talking about how the cards aren't that good, and I'm like, Final Fantasy, they ended up being totally respectable power level. Like,
they were all one of them is busted. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like all of the stuff about that set not being powerful enough was just like obviously not correct in retrospect. So it's just giving me those vibes again, where it's just like when they do cool new things, the instinct is that it's not going to be that good because you don't have like a benchmark to compare it. Like, oh, this is like Goif or whatever, a card I know is good, and this is like that. There's a lot of new weird stuff going on, so it's hard, really hard, harder than usual, and it's always hard to assess the power level of the set. But there's a lot of cool stuff for sure.
Yeah,
it could be awful, could be really great, probably just like pretty solid. Like it's probably just above average, kind of pretty good.
So, Jeff, there is one specific card I wanted to talk to you about, because this is, pretty wacky. I would not consider this extremely strong, but it did remind me of you and some decks that you would enjoy, but it is not a card that that I think will be good enough in Standard, but I want to hear what you think about it.
Okay.
So this is a black card. It's a vehicle, so already little...
I already hate it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's called Phoenix Fleet Airship. It's 2 black for a 4/4 artifact vehicle at Mythic. It has flying. And it says at the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. And it says as long as you control 8 or more permanents named Phoenix Fleet Airship, this vehicle is an artifact creature. And then you can crew it for a single one. It's like so weird. But run me through what you're thinking with this card. Initially, what are your thoughts?
Obviously, I love what they're selling here. I think it's just too expensive for the type of text that can do this. Right? Like, if you have the ability to generate 8 of these, you could have won the game some other way in an Aristocrats deck. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is a flashy way to end the game. But if we're just able to... That's what they're selling. You can sack creatures at will. You could create 8 of these. And then you get this big
Army.
I kill you. But, why not just do it with blood artists and stuff? Like, if you can just sack that many creatures, it's generally not a problem.
Very true.
That's not like the restriction in these decks. The restriction isn't like win cons when you have your engines going. We got lots of that. So the question is, does this add anything on its face of just like you're a little constrained, you make a couple of these or one extra, say maybe it's the benchmark you have to hold yourself to. Then you kind of have these two like dirtly vehicles that you spent 4 mana for. Maybe it's good enough. Gives you like an attacker in the air.
And random
Possibly
tokens to
two
sacrifice,
attackers, and like you get to use your blood artists to crew it, who are usually sitting there not attacking or blocking. So it's like crewing with them is not a big deal. I don't know. I'd be tempted to try one of these. This sounds exactly like a card I'm going to add to my deck and then cut. You know what I mean? Like it comes out and maybe like I'll add 1 or 2 of those. I'll add 2, and then it goes down to 1, and then I just cut it. And then
every single time you go to sideboards, you're like, get this shit out.
Yeah, that's my auto sideboard. Yeah, which I do like having. I like having bad cards in my deck so that I don't have to think too hard about what to side out.
That's a good rule to live by for sure. I think the other thing I've seen with this, so I kind of went down the same rabbit hole of like, I just don't think this is good enough in like actual sacrifice decks. And so then I've seen other people talking about what if you can just make a bunch of copies immediately, like
without
there's that
like its own ability, use some other ability.
Yeah. So like Devastating Onslaught is that card from Edge of Eternity that's like XX red, and you can make a bunch of token copies of artifact or creature thing. So you could do that, but then it's
if I'm casting XX red for like 7, I should be able to win the game
in a better way. Yeah. Or like Doppelgang, it just being one of your targets. So,
yeah, Doppelgang, has Doppelgang ever not won a game on the spot? When X is at least 2,
I don't know. So it isn't really looking for do nothing cards that only work if you have mana and Doppelgang. So probably not a card that's going to be used.
It feels just that like I win in a flashy way if your deck does this big splashy cool thing. It's like, okay, but I didn't need you to win in that case, did I? And the answer is generally like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. So I think in the end, this is just one of those mythics that you're like, we talk about cards that are worth a slot in your deck. I think this might be one of those where you're just like, thank God I don't have to waste a wild card on this thing.
Yeah. I know it's gonna happen though. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna be like, fine, I'll take it, and then
if you
I'll
open
put it in my deck, and then I'll lose. I'll lose because I had this card, and then I'll be like,
it's not really good in draft.
The ultimate path. I'll lose the draft because I had it, and then I'll lose because I put it in my constructed deck, and I sat there with this 4 mana dud in my hand.
It's kind of like the opposite of like the pipeline towards modern, where cards are like, oh, you played them in standard and then in pioneer and then in modern. This is like you played them in draft, shouldn't have. You played it in standard, you still shouldn't have. And then next we're going to see like Jeff's playing Legacy with this card in his deck. He's like, I don't know, it just got in there somehow. I don't know what happened.
Guys, I think Vintage is the spot for this one. I'm telling you. It's an artifact.
It's gonna be great.
Vintage loves artifacts.
Boom, done. Anyway,
artifact hate in Vintage.
And people are gonna waste it on this thing. Anyway, I think it's a really cool card, and I like the idea that like once you get a bunch of them, it's just this giant army that attacks. But it's so slow because it only triggers on your end step. So like you only get to make tokens like 1 token a turn, or like it takes many turns for it to actually be a fleet.
I didn't even realize it was 1 per turn. That makes it awful.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I kind of cleared that up for you, so you didn't just like
well, I was like, even if I could just do it, like I was thinking maybe once per, well, I knew it probably wasn't at will, but I don't have the card in front of me, so I don't know if it's on Scryfall, but
It definitely is, because I am not going to accidentally spoil a card that's not out there.
Not again.
Not again. Just kidding. That's never happened. Don't start spreading rumors that I'm spoiling cards early, Jeff. I'm gonna get kicked out. Anyway, Jeff, third card that you're excited about that's coming out, or that you're not excited about, that you think maybe people look at this and want to craft it, but they shouldn't, because they do have a couple of those. Uh, Always fun to talk about.
Yeah, nothing's coming to mind on that one. There is a card that it popped up on my Reddit feed, and
Okay.
it caught my eye as just being like, huh, that seems kind of pushed. And the card was Great Divide Guide.
Hell yeah.
So this is 1 and a green for a human scout ally. It's a 2/3, and it says each land and ally you control has tap to add 1 mana of any color. That's kind of a hell of a mana dork, man. Like,
Oh, buddy.
2 mana 2/3 on a mana dork is already like, okay, like, really? It taps for any color, not just green, and it fixes all your lands. Like, you just don't have to worry about color fixing as long as this guy's on the battlefield. And future allies also become mana dorks. There's just like a
Or-
lot going on a 2-drop, you know?
Or even previous ones. Do you know what I
Or
mean?
previous ones,
So-
yeah, true. If you had some sort of 1 mana ally, like, could
Yeah.
maybe even do some like popping off here where you play this and then play another 1 mana ally, and the next turn you have like 6 mana.
That's crazy. That's so possible. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like a relatively common play pattern if this becomes a thing, you know?
I think that this is the ally card to me. Like this
Yeah.
is the bread and butter piece. That's like, oh yeah, baby, this pulls everything together. Especially because this character in the show, he's like no nonsense. They basically like go into
yeah.
this canyon and he's like, nobody can bring any food because otherwise we're gonna get attacked. And then everybody brings food and he gets attacked and his leg gets broken and he like
Oh, poor Great Divide Guy.
but he's a real one. He's great. But no, I'm really glad that he got such a powerful card. This is so cool.
Yeah. I had to reread this one because I was scrolling. I saw it. I'm like, okay, another weird mana dork. And I was like, hold on. Did I read that correctly? Let me scroll right back up.
I'm pretty sure this card's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so single-handedly, I think that is why we would be playing allies in standard. It's got to be this guy, right?
And I think you just play him even if you don't have ally things going on, right?
Really?
Like,
Okay.
I think if you're a green deck, multicolor deck that's interested in ramping and color fixing, like this is good enough on its own. But if or even one or two other allies kind of thing. But a house in the ally deck, like if there is an ally deck, this, like you're saying, this is the reason why, because it's just going to enable so many things. It lets you probably play 5-color allies, right?
That's basically what I was thinking, is that it's the 5-color ally like linchpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then my question is, if you're saying it kind of goes into most every green deck, is there any thought that like Llanowar Elves kind of pushes this out in just regular green decks? Because
Yeah, if you're interested in just green, elves will be better. I think if you're interested in maybe 2 colors, you still want elves. But once you go to 3 colors, I'm starting to look at this guy.
right, yeah, that does make sense. I mean, the other thing is that like until we get the other shock lands in what is it, Lorwyn, this guy could be helpful in bridging the gap between some of those colors. Where
Maybe I can play Jund now. Maybe I could finally play Jund.
Jund
I
allies.
just have to play this guy.
Yeah, you'd have to play this guy. There are some cool Jund allies too, so maybe there might be something there. There's some cool stuff. I mean, while you're talking about it, I don't think we have brought up this card yet. Never mind. It's a different color than I thought. Lies.
Well, if we want to keep talking Jun, I mean, like last time we talked about Boomy, I think. But there is another interesting card that I think has been spoiled more recently. I don't think this goes in that deck, but I just think it's a cool card, and I wanted to talk about it. I don't even know if it's good, but that card is Zuko, Conflicted. So Zuko is red-black for a 2/3. Apparently, I just like 2-mana 2/3s tonight. But it's a legendary human rogue. At the beginning of your first main phase, choose one that hasn't been chosen, and you lose 2 life. You can draw a card. You can put a +1/+1 counter on it. You can add a red mana, and you can exile Zuko and then return him to the battlefield under an opponent's control. And
What was that last part? What was that last part?
oh, it has to go under your opponent's control. Doesn't come back.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, because he's conflicted, right? Now he doesn't know what side he's supposed to be on.
And then, obviously, because of the way that's worded, he gets exiled and he comes back, and your opponent gets to do all these things. Because they haven't been chosen yet.
Exactly.
This, again, though, it's a lot for a 2-drop. If you think 2-mana, 2/3... The annoying thing is, like, it is at the beginning of your first main phase, so you do have to wait a turn cycle to do your first
That's true.
thing. It doesn't, like, I think when I first read it, I was like, oh, it Elvish Visionaries, and then you, like, figure out what you're doing from there. It's not quite right, because next turn it'll draw a card, or get a counter, or add a mana. Like, for the counter and mana, you want it to be next turn, but for the card, you'd like it immediately. But I guess we'll wait. But it's still a lot, right? Like a 2-mana 2/3 that draws a card, becomes a 3/4, and adds a mana when you need it. It's a lot for 2 mana. So I'm not saying it's gonna be good, but I'm just saying you got to watch out for anything that's a steal of a deal. And if you're able to mix and match this with airbending in any way to kind of get around giving it up, then we're starting to get into Value Town, you know? But
that's interesting.
I'm not even sure you need it because it takes so long, right? For this to go to the opponent, it takes so long. Like,
it
do
does.
you care about your 2-drop anymore?
So, like, what I like about this card a lot is that it's obviously very aggressive. It's in a color combination that wants to be aggressive. Once we get Blood Crypt, we can actually play Rakdos aggro, but that will take, the new year. But what's really cool about this card is that your opponent's going to lose 2 life every turn that they have it. That's 3 turns. That's 8 life they're going to lose. So if you're playing an aggressive Rakdos deck, you don't care about your life total going down, and you actually actively want your opponent to take this, because then they have to figure out how to get rid of it, because it just might burn them out, just sitting on their battlefield. Because, like, you're attacking your opponent.
It does the stab wound thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
so,
I actually don't want to kill your creature with this stab wound. I want it to just sit there.
And
bleed.
Yeah, bleed you out. Because, like, originally you're attacking your opponent, and probably the initial idea is like, do I want to trade with this Zuko? Because I do get it and get to do stuff, so maybe I just let the damage through. But then they are taking a bunch of damage. And
you probably don't care about... You care about them drawing a card, but you probably don't care about them putting a counter on it. Or
ramping by that point.
Getting one red mana by then, yeah.
Exactly. So, like, yes, they get a card for 2 life. But then as long as you can just keep it around, if you have a bunch of, like, I don't know, 1/3s or just, like, things to chump, you might be able to just burn your opponent out. Or you could just actually burn... Your base game plan could be like, I am just burning you out, and this is just 2 to 4 damage if it ever goes to their side of the battlefield. But a lot of the time, you hopefully just kill them before that, and this is just your backup plan. I don't know. I do actually like this card a lot. I think it could work really well without even shenanigans. I think it just, as long as your plan is kill you as fast as possible. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about the like reach you get from them having to lose 2 life. And that the interesting thing about that one is it sort of does happen right away because you give it to them on your main phase. And then on their main phase they take the damage. So
That is true.
they
I guess
do
to be
get the
fair,
blocker, which I don't love.
that's what I just thought about. I did not think about the blocker, which is kind of annoying.
So if I can find a way to tap this guy, I'm happy. But
Maybe there's some sort of waterbending thing, or maybe we're playing. You literally play like the station lands just for that situation.
oh yeah, you're definitely you got some sort of station lands going on, right? Yeah, just use those.
So there's, or you could put this. He could crew the Phoenix airship thing, and then you get to
There
attack
we go.
with that.
We
Boom.
did it. We
Done.
got there.
Fixed it. But no, I think you're absolutely right. Zuko Conflicted is super cool. I think all the Zuko cards are pretty awesome. And this one is definitely no exception. Very powerful and very scary.
I can't wait to not be bummed out about liking Rakdos cards again.
It's only
It's
going
like,
to take
oh,
it
cool
another
Rakdos
little
card.
bit.
Maybe next year I'll get to play that one.
It will be next year, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's one thing I was going to say about the ally, the 2-drop dude in green, is that like it does kind of make it that all your starting towns and all your multiversal passages just like don't. Well, I guess
That's true.
multiversal they multiversal passage taps for everything, but starting town stops hurting you when you tap it for colors, so that's kind
Yeah.
of nice. If you happen to go into those types of decks. But Jeff, there's a card I really want to talk about, and I think it's probably the number one card I'm excited for this set.
Oh, all right.
And it is another multicolored card. It
Okay.
is Azorius. So this
Shocker.
is Aang, Swift Savior. It's
I was
one
just
white.
looking at this. I was like, I wonder if this is the card
Yeah.
he's talking about.
It is. It's 1 white blue, so 3 mana total for a 2/3 legendary creature human avatar ally. It has flash and flying. And it says when Aang enters, airbend up to 1 other target creature or spell. Very fun.
Love that.
So airbending means that you get to exile it, and then they get to cast it again for if they pay 2 mana. So being able to do that to spells is really cool. It has a spell queller kind of vibe to it, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, it
Obviously, it
makes me
doesn't
think of,
steal it forever,
like
but
Aven Interrupter. Kinda.
yes, definitely like Aven Interrupter works really well with that card as well. So I think they go in the same deck. And it has Waterbend 8, so you could spend 8 mana or tap creatures and or artifacts to help do that. And he transforms into Aang and La, Ocean's Fury, which is his final form in the first season of the show. And he's a 5/5 legendary creature, Avatar Spirit ally. Huh? There you go. Anyway, it has Reach and Trample. And it says whenever Aang and La attack, put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control. So, of course, all of your attackers / your mana dorks or creatures that helped you waterbend this into existence.
But not
because
if your
it does-
creatures have vigilance.
Not
Those
well.
guys.
It's true, but you could tap those for waterbending, and then you get counters on them. They attack next turn. But yeah, it's always funny when your white deck cares about tapped creatures because you
Yeah.
are the deck that usually has untapped creatures.
Vigilant motherfuckers.
But what I'm thinking with this card in particular is that Aang obviously is going to be fun in like a white-blue flyers deck. There's another card that is in this set that goes right into this, which I'll obviously talk about in a second. But the ability to be like tempo decks are some of my favorite decks. Anytime you get to like flash in threats or hold up counter magic or removal spells or whatever is what I want to be doing. And this is a nice alternative to like the Dimir plan where like you get to have more of these kind of flyer things with the airbending seems fun, but also, your small little flyer turns into a huge threat later in the game if you do have enough mana / creatures that it actually matters. But ultimately, I just want this as like a 3 mana airbend a creature or a spell. You grab the tempo off of them, hit them a couple times. I am very excited for this. I like
Yeah,
it a lot.
this card's awesome. I really wish it was a 3/2, but maybe that would be
Too aggressive.
too good. But it gives me like you said, spell queller. This is almost like a spell queller flicker wisp split card kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I love like both of those cards, and I'm a huge fan of flicker wisp. So if flicker wisp had flash, it'd be all over it.
Oh.
And this card does, so it seems pretty cool. And then sure, yeah, you get the water bend. That
I'm
is
less
not
excited about
meaningless.
that. Yeah.
It adds power to the card. I think you're not playing it for that reason, but like Waterbend 8 is in whatever deck this is going in is not your plan A. You want to just be attacking, but it gives you something to do in a lot of these situations where you wouldn't have something to do that is very effective. Like it gives you that kind of backdoor plan. It gives you a kind of built-in plan B, which is pretty awesome.
To be fair, also White Blue is a deck that likes to have a lot of trinkety artifacts. We have lots of map tokens, and we have a lot of like clues and things. So it's not. It just kind of
like three of an inspector kind of guys.
We have the freaking merfolk
Siren.
flying thing. Yeah, the siren. That one works as well. And you're probably going to want to play that in this deck anyway, right? So
and you'll probably have a few other water bending type stuff, and obviously those aren't your ideal targets for air bending, but in a pinch.
Yeah, but in a pinch you could do that, or you could, flicker your own stuff to make more tokens to then help waterbend or whatever works in that situation. But I'm going to piggyback this one. So like this is your kind of removal / protection spell. But the reason that I started looking at this card more seriously is because of another card. And so that's why I'm going to piggyback and I'm going to push them together. They're going to come together. But to be fair, in the show, they do kind of stick around. They are friends. So you don't really see one without the other most of the time once this character is found. So I think that Aang will be paired up with Momo, Friendly Flyer. So this is the rare Momo. It's a single white mana for a 1/1 legendary creature, Lemur Bat ally. It has flying. And it says the first non-lemur creature spell with flying you cast during each of your turns costs 1 less to cast. And whenever another creature you control with flying enters, Momo gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So, yes, it's only during your turn, but the fact that Aang could be only 2 mana for protection, or if your opponent's trying to remove your things while you're attacking, or anything like that, it also makes Aven Interrupter 2 mana instead of 3, which is really big. So I think that this card will be very helpful. And the non-lemur part doesn't really matter, and it's kind of weird that that's even added to the card because we don't have really that many other lemurs, and the other lemurs that are in their set also are only 1 mana and they're white. So like I'm kind of confused why that's added to the card, but whatever. It helps other creatures with flying cost less, and then it kind of incentivizes you at a certain
lemurs
point.
do they have planned?
Maybe we have more lemurs in the future. I guess that's kind of funny. But there is a world where you slam a couple of flyers on your turn just so you can get a little bit more damage with Momo, which is kind of cool. So anyway, I think a turn 1 Momo into what are we going to do with our other cards on turn 2 seems kind of exciting to me. I do like it. Now, it is a bummer it's only on your turn, so I will say that. Because it kind of ruins the whole flash part. But
I was just thinking about, though, imagine if this was in the same standard environment as Paulo's card, where you could just 1 mana this, 2 mana Paulo.
2 mana Paulo. That would be so awesome. It makes Nathan's card only cost 1.
Hey, there you go.
So maybe people will think about ever putting that in their deck.
If Pioneer were a format, mono white flyers, you could You get Paulo down on turn 2
That would be great. The
on
Paolo
the
on turn
plates.
2 is so strong.
Yeah. And then
Man,
you
it's
have
so
an even interrupter to hold up on turn 3. You don't even need to main phase it.
it's true. Man, now that we have like Lightstall Inquisitor, the like 1 mana 2/1 vigilance that like tries to be Paolo but really isn't. I miss Paolo so much. Like,
Man, I want to choose. Let me choose what
yeah,
card gets taken out of their hand.
the 3 mana like 3/1 flyer where you choose a card that costs 2 more is so much better than a 1 mana like Savannah Lions. That's like your next land enters tapped and it already entered tapped anyway, so who cares?
Ha!
Yeah, and you don't even see their hand. It's like,
And I'm gonna flicker it to do it again.
so I really, the more I play with that card, the more I'm like, I am, I had such high hopes, I think, for that card, and
See, I think I had the
it
opposite.
has,
Like when I read it, I was like, really want to be excited for this because this is supporting like the archetype that I've been wanting to come back, and it just seems too bad. Like I want to be hyped for this card, but it's like they put too many riders on this.
it just keeps, yeah. I think it really is. Every time I read it, I'm just like, oh man, I thought you were going to be Paolo or even close to Paolo, and you're
Make it
just
a
not.
3/1, and I'm on board.
That's so much for 1 mana. Oh, that's way too much. Just let me pick the card. Just let me pick the card, or
Just
change
make Paulo, but without flying, but for 1 mana.
Why can't they just do it so like, if you pick a land in your hand, you still have to pay the 1 for the land? Like, I'd be fine with that. It's essentially the same tapped land
Because
thing.
people hate because that's like I don't know, close to land destruction or like in that
Well,
same
no.
ballpark of
Because then, basically, so if okay, the card that we're talking about.
All right, let's
is
go
like-
deep on this.
I'm going deep on this. This is Lightstall Inquisitor. This is from Edge of Eternities. So it has this writer that I really think doesn't need to be there. It says when this creature enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Each spell that is cast this way costs 1 more to cast, and each land played enters tapped. If you just said like whenever you play a card this way, it costs 1, and don't do the land tapped thing, because there's so many lands that are like that already enter tapped that people are already playing. It just kind of ruins this card.
Yeah, what is that rider for actually? Because like I'm
Nothing.
trying to think like, oh, if they only have a land in their hand, but they can't play it. But it's like they don't choose that one. Mm-hmm. Like
You don't have
because
to choose the
opponent
land.
gets to choose.
They get to
There's
choose
no
whatever.
real reason for that rider to be there.
Exactly.
Except
like
that it lets them completely circumvent the effect if they want to, because the
Exactly.
land- yeah.
yeah, because if you kept it like if it was a tapped land that you ended up putting out to the exile and playing it later, and you had to pay 1 to play it, that would be pretty brutal. If it was an untapped land and it still entered untapped, but you still had to pay 1 to play it, you would do the same effect where they would be down 1 mana that turn. That works
Be a very
perfectly
similar
fine.
situation, yeah.
Yeah, as it being tapped. And then every other situation is just the card costs 1 more, which is
Yeah, I
what
don't
it
know
should do.
what that rider is for actually.
It's to piss me off and not make me not want to play the card. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's just in
So-
case the card was not shitty enough. They had to.
You know what it really did? It must be that this card was great at one point, and then they just crushed it.
They
That's what
nuked it, yeah.
Yeah, they had to nuke it.
I believe that.
Where they're like, yeah, because they could just literally say whenever a card is played from exile this way or whatever.
Actually, yeah, I'm starting to buy into your theory just because I think the whole skull clamp thing has led to whenever there's a card late in development and they want to nerf it because they didn't realize it was too good in time, they realize they have to go all
Add
out.
sentences. Like
Yeah.
before it was, oh, we'll put instead of a plus, it'll be a minus. Now it's we have to add a bunch of sentences that say only do this one time, like once per turn, only as a sorcery. the bubble,
Yeah.
like adding all this extra crap.
And for
And
people who don't know, look up Skull Clamp. Originally, Skull Clamp said +1/+1. This is the legend, the
yes.
fable, I guess. Originally, it said +1/+1, and they realized late into development that it was too good, so they changed it to +1/1, which made at the last minute, which made the card absurdly good. It made it
Yeah, because
way better. So like,
the only thing Skull Clamp does is says when this creature dies, you draw 2 cards, and it gave you a way to kill the creature on its
yeah, to
self.
just like chain it on your 1/1s and just draw
Yeah.
cards like crazy. So that's what I'm saying is like from that experience, they now, when they're nuking a card late in development, they really make sure they're nuking it.
They really want to make sure that it's not going to do anything, which is really sad, honestly. But like, I get it. I get that you have
Could
to.
definitely be what happened here. Like it maybe used to say like 2, right? And then they're like, oh, that's too much.
That's
So
too much. Let's pull it back. Oh, let's do not a land thing. Oh, let's not do blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. They already have so much agency by choosing the card. I don't know why you have to make white hand hate so bad.
I'm not even convinced making them pay 2 extra for it, which is the standard for this kind of thing, would be too good. Because they get to choose what they pay extra for.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Because now, yeah, going back to Skull Clamp, nowadays Skull Clamp would literally say, when a cryptic creature dies or is put into a graveyard, draw 2 cards. Triggers only once each turn. That's what it would say. And so it's like the card is like really still good, but like not the abusive,
and it would just
aggressive
never
card
say
it was.
draw 2 cards for 1 mana.
That's true.
In the first place, yeah. It'd be like
It would
exile
create
the
a-
top
create a clue.
2. Yeah, create a clue, exactly. Create 2 clues.
it would be like some sort of investigator that like turns suspects into.
Yeah, oh, it would be so bad.
Clues,
It would
yeah.
be so bad.
Anyway, so that's what we get nowadays. Sorry, but anyway, going back, I think this white blue flyers deck could be real fun. I have high hopes for this one for sure.
I'm into it. If I had to guess, I would think there's like a white blue tempo deck that doesn't rely on everything
Flyers.
having flying, and so maybe you're not looking at Momo at that point.
So
I just think there are probably some good cards in white and blue
Okay.
that are going to be
Well-
better than committing to the flying plan. But
it's true. Yeah. Okay. I
it's just
like
a
what
gut
you're saying.
feeling. I don't have examples to throw
All
at you here.
right. Well, I do understand that because like it's funny how I got here is that I looked at Momo and was like, I don't think Momo's very good. And then I saw Aang and I was like, oh, maybe actually with Aang, Momo's great. And then now you're reminding me, no, the reason you liked Momo is because Aang was good. And so
Yeah.
just play Aang and other cards that are good.
This is a lesson I've had to learn too many times in Magic. Where I'm like, this is really cool, and they're like, yeah, but just play the good card.
Just do this instead.
Don't
It's
you don't
like-
need the card that synergizes with a good card. You know what else synergizes with a good card? Another good card.
Just play good cards. Jeff, this is a lesson that I am still learning. It's difficult. It's a hard one.
It's a tough lesson, man. I don't
It
even
is.
think I fully get it yet. I still play crap. After I've built my deck and played it a few times, I'm like, what was I thinking with this one? Like this it's just not powerful enough, and I keep getting stranded with just this one and none of the synergies.
Yeah, none of the good stuff. It's just like, God, why do I have to keep playing this stupid card? All right, well,
And we
while
all
I
know that feeling you get where you keep drawing the card. You're like, fuck this fucking card. Why is it always in my
Yeah.
opener? And I'm like, if you're upset that the 2-drop is always in your opener, cut it.
that's yeah, it's very not good. That
Should
sounds
be the ideal situation for a 2-drop. So,
yes, 100%.
or like, imagine Momo. You draw your opening hand. You're like, why is Momo always in my opener?
God, this sucks.
Okay,
You're like,
time
all
to
right.
cut the
Cut the-
1-drop.
Cut the bat lemur thing. Jeff, do you have another card you're interested in, or maybe a deck that you're thinking about possibly putting together, or more pieces for the ally deck, Or perhaps maybe mono red cards, because we always look at mono red cards because we're always.
Yep.
I mean, it's so funny because we're not always playing mono red, but we are always looking to make sure that mono red's still around.
Yeah, I think it's actually been like years since I've really played mono red. But I'm always like, ooh, mono red could have a comeback here.
I literally think that even though it's not even a comeback, it's just good. Like
I know
mono
at
red
this
is
point.
just good.
See, I'm like less excited about it now because I'm like, it already is so good. God, I hate Screaming Nemesis. I hate it. But don't worry, it'll be gone soon. No, our new thing is mono white, Zach. We're always
Right,
just
sorry, mono white.
on the
well, then-
lookout for mono white.
So Momo, right? Momo's
Yes,
the...
yes, Momo. No, I don't see Momo being a part of the mono white deck.
Definitely not, no.
But I am definitely interested in thinking about this Jund Allies deck a little more.
Oh, sure. Jund allies. Yeah.
I kind of wish that mole we talked about last time was an ally, but it doesn't appear like it is.
No, the mole cub is not. Badger mole cub is not an ally, unfortunately.
But Boomy, we talked about Boomy last week, and there's an ally.
Boom, there you go.
And then if we're gonna really take advantage, though, we need like maybe it should just be 5-color allies, because you really want to like live and die by the Great Divide Guide. You know, like if I don't draw this card, my deck does nothing, and if I draw it, then I'm gonna slam amazing creatures every turn.
I do like that plan for sure. I mean, there is an ally that we haven't talked about that.
I mean, there's all the Angs. Is that what 5-color allies is? Just like
It's just a bunch of
Great
Angs.
Divide Guide and all the Angs.
I mean,
Which I'm
there's
guessing he obviously is an airbender, and I'm guessing he learns water bending, and then he learns earth bending, and then he learns fire bending based on the progression of these cards. But
yes, that's okay. Fire so is the last one.
What the show is about.
Yeah, it's literally what the show's about. Yeah, okay. Where he's like, cool. Yeah, it's
just they're all like side by side in this view, and I'm just like, okay, I think I see the progression.
The progression, yeah. I mean, like the show is like book 1 is called Water. That's the first season. The second season is called book 2. It's Earth, and then the third book is book 3, Fire.
So that's why there's no card of him as just like mono white.
There is, but it's I believe it's uncommon.
Oh, I suspected that might be the case too, I guess. Yes.
Yeah. As well as it's also confusing because there are so many other versions of him as well that are not in the draft format / standard. Because there's a bunch of like other products. Yeah, so Aang the Last Airbender is an uncommon white card. And that's his like first original form where we see him before he starts waterbending. And that's only in the first couple episodes of the show. So much more like goofy fun kid and not as serious. But yeah, if you want to play Aang, there's so many different versions of Aang to play, including commander versions. So yeah, check all those out. What I was going to say, Jeff, if we're talking about allies, I mean, there is a pretty important, it's almost a reprint for allies that feels like it goes right into it, and there's no way you're playing an ally deck without this card. It's Celestia. It's Earth King's Lieutenant. So it's green-white for a 1/1 creature, human soldier ally at rare. It has trample. And it says when this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each other ally you control. And whenever another ally you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature.
Aha.
So this is the card.
Someone else's lieutenant.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Although, did that one have trample? I don't think Thalia's lieutenant had trample.
No, but this one also has green, so it makes sense.
Cool.
That was a mono white card, right?
So, yeah, it was one and white. Yeah. That card was a house. So
this is also a house. Very great card. Good early, good late, good with allies. What more can you say? That's what it does. So this almost makes you want to be like, maybe
Yeah,
we're
we're not
just,
going Jund then. We need
yeah,
this card. Yeah.
exactly. So we probably want to play that, and then there's, I don't think we want to play Kataro for building allies. Like, do we want the Katara the Fearless is a Bant, so it's like green, white, blue for a 3/3 legendary creature, human warrior ally. If a triggered ability of an ally you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Do we want to do the whole Panharmonicon thing by adding blue? Is it worth it? I mean, I'm on the verge, or the verge. I'm on the side of probably not worth it for the win more card, but that's just me. That's just me. I'd rather have more attacky or
Yeah, I think you want to
splashy.
be, especially based on the card that you just read. Like you want to be beaten down.
Yeah, exactly. With the Earth King. So like maybe we're not playing blue, but I do think we want to play at least 3 colors because we have, it feels like with the Great Divide it's free. And we already established we want to play the Great Divide, right?
Yeah, of course. Great Divide
So
Guide.
like it's also so hard because we also probably, there's a world where we want to play Sokka Tenacious Tactician,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
the one I was looking
Jess
at.
guy.
Like,
So Jeff, what does this card do? Tell me about it.
okay, so it does have like a spells matters kind of theme that I don't know how much we'd be leaning into, but it's one in Jeskai for a 3/3 menace prowess. Other allies you control have menace and prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. So I'm thinking like you're more using it as like a my team gets menace kind of thing, but you would have some number of non-creature spells in your
It's
deck
true.
that would trigger it. So like, is that worth going to
4 colors.
essentially 4 colors? Maybe. Depends how good the Great Divide Guide actually is.
That's true.
But giving the team menace on its own is nothing to sneeze at.
I agree that it is great. Like in the world where we're just like, hey, we just want to play this card. Getting the tokens is just kind of like extra with like some of our
Yeah.
removal souls to get some, but it's not the main game plan. We aren't playing Monastery Swift Spirit. We're playing give our creatures menace and prowess. And the prowess is like, I really just want menace.
Right. This is like, give me menace, give everything menace, and then if I happen to have a non-creature spell, it's like, whoa, I create a token and I get, everyone gets +1/+1. Yeah, it does the whole Monastery Mentor kind of thing.
Yeah, which like is any of your removal spells, as well as like, do we want to play the United Front in white? It's like X white white for sorcery at Mythic, create X/1/1 ally creature tokens, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So if you don't have a board, it makes a board, and if you do have a board, it's white white, put a +1/+1 counter on all your creatures.
The reason I like this one is like the Great Divide Guide lets you generate all the mana you need to pay a massive X on this.
Yeah,
So like this, it kind of works synergistically where you could either pay a huge X because you have so much mana from your Great Divide Guide, or you could play this for a relatively innocuous number, like 2 or 3 or whatever, and then the next turn you'll just have so much mana because of the Great Divide Guide.
so when you play the second one, it's huge.
Yeah. Or Sokka, and then the second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sokka would definitely help with this card. So I like that as well. I don't know. There's a lot of decisions to go into.
But this one's
allies.
also awesome with Earth King's Lieutenant, right? Like going wide with the Lieutenant, or tall. Like it does both. With the
Yeah. I mean, like it's either like he enters and put counters on all of them, or you play this after and he gets gigantic and tramples.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's the same thing where it's like, it's good kind of, well, it's really just the lieutenant that's great because he's good early, good late.
good in
Just-
multiples.
He's just a great card. Yeah, the fact that they decided that the Earth King's lieutenant gets to be like this is a very
Non-legendary.
specific. He's a very specific character in the show, but the fact that they decided to not make him legendary is so amazing. Thank you so much, Wizards, for doing that. You're saving the Allies deck by
Well, same
making
thing
sure
with the Great Divide Guide, right?
he is. Yeah, he's a specific character.
Because
I don't remember
it's
his
one,
name. It is one dude. Yeah.
but it's not a legendary creature here. So
Thank God. Like they are very picky and choosy with some of their legendaries because they have to. Like there's a bunch of them. Yeah, Diligent Zookeeper. That's a very specific character. Bifong's Bounty Hunters. Those are two specific characters. Like I think they did a
but
good job with the amount of legendaries. I know there's a lot of them, but there are specific ones they decided. You know what? It doesn't matter that much that these are like the actual character. They can be non-legendary.
yeah, and I like that for these two that they decided weren't legendary, and I'm sure there are others. They gave them. They didn't give. It wasn't like Sam, Great Divide Guide. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that weird thing where it's like the card really feels like it's specifically referencing one character, and then it's non-legendary. And here they are doing that, but only because you would have to know that, right? Like from
Watching the
the
show.
source material. Whereas like I look at this doesn't. If I don't know this is a unique character in the show. It just
Totally.
looks like a card. It has a generic name, and it
It is true.
So
Also,
it's not
to
the
be
whole
fair,
Valakut thing where it's like this is so clearly a single, like a very specific, famous volcano. It has a name, but it's not legendary. They didn't do that thing, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
the Earth's King's Lieutenant and the Great Divide Guide have real names in the show that they could have given it, but because they decided to make it non-legendary, they didn't give them that name.
yeah, I can't remember if he actually had a name in the show or not, or if it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm the guide, and then they do sometimes do this thing where like there are characters that look very similar to each other. That most of the time it's like on purpose,
Right.
but there's
Yeah,
a possibility where it's like, oh, he has a bunch of brothers and stuff, and they all look the same.
it's the
And
Pokemon thing, right? Where they're like,
oh, with
all the
nurse
nurses and all the cops
and
are
all
like
the cops are the
sisters,
same,
and they all look
yeah, or
identical.
whatever.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up though, you were talking about Valakut. That is one of the cards that's coming to Arena because it is part of the source material things. So
And
that
they
is
gave
very
Escape Shift not too long ago.
so it is very relevant.
It's a really long time ago, but
Yeah. And that card is renamed as Volcano of Roku's Island, Roku being one of the past avatars. Very important volcano, very important volcano eruption, and very specific place. Once again, not legendary. So we just go
now
and
they're
continue.
just pissing us. Now they're just pissing
Yeah.
us off. It's like even more unique than it was
Yes.
before.
Yeah. I mean, before it literally has a comma and says like the molten pinnacle. Like
The pinnacle, yeah, that's what killed me about that one.
it's just so ridiculous. Like, but then there's other lands that clearly don't need to be legendary and are, or ones that are once again like I think the World Tree was another one that was like that, where it's like, oh, World Tree is not legendary. It's like there's one of these
This
things.
literally says the world tree.
Yeah, there's one. It's really important to
It's
the
not
entire
like-
plane.
A world tree.
A World Tree. It's ridiculous. And but they go back and forth depending on like, oh well, we want this to be legendary, we don't want this to be legendary, blah 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 blah. And it tends to be on like, well, most of the time it's about power level. Like the Kamigawa ones we were talking about, that was a big deal. They were legendary lands. You can't have 4 in your deck because you're just gonna, have terrible hands if you do that.
Yeah, I don't know how good legendary is as a mechanic, to be honest, but it's like so far gone now that this is just a huge part of the game. But it's like it's part of the game because of a flavor thing. The
Yeah.
actual mechanic itself, I think, kind of sucks. And other games have done this a bit better, where they're just like, it's legendary, you can only have 1 in your deck. Or
In your
whatever.
deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly like, so Jeff, if the rule changed tomorrow, if the rule changed literally across all boards, legendaries are now like you can only have one in your deck, and that is how it works. They're restricted. Legendary cards are restricted. What would you be okay with that? Would you be happy with that?
Personally, yes. I think that's just a better mechanic. I think like they would have to change their design philosophy about the number of legendaries they currently print, because it's like kind of crazy, and stuff just gets legendary tacked on all the time and stuff. But I think it would let them do that more selectively. The deck that I'm thinking of for it that I would be bummed out about is honestly, like, sure, the Aristocrats deck wouldn't be able to run 4 Sephiroths anymore, but
You
probably
also
fine,
wouldn't.
honestly. Like,
Yeah, but you couldn't run 4 Sephiroths. You couldn't run 4 of the some of the sacrifice outlets were legendary.
yeah, but I don't run that one anyway. Like, I run, I
Anymore.
think, one copy of Bartolome.
Bartolome. Well, there you
anyways,
go.
because they replaced it with a single
Oh, right,
color version that's
easier to
non-legendary.
cast. Yeah,
And I think has a slightly better ability, actually, with the scrying.
yeah. Or surveilling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, surveilling. And Inti, that'd be a bummer for Inti. But
Inti would be a huge bummer.
nobody else actually plays that card, so it's pretty much just me who'd be like, there goes my Inti deck.
Yeah.
But no, I think, like, I don't know, I think I can have a whole bunch of these, but, like, the one dies if I play the other. Like, it's a bad rule, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of like back in the day, they had this weird way of doing this, and they've kind of fixed it slowly over time, and then other games have just kind of taken the more obvious approach, and I think it just makes more sense. But
Yeah.
we're kind of locked into this at this point.
I mean, a lot of other games just have like your legendary creature is just the creature that you have. Like Riftbound is like, I'm playing this
Yeah.
creature. Like it's like your commander or whatever, but it's like there aren't other ones in my deck. Like I'm playing this one, right?
Well, I think you're allowed to have more in your deck. So Riftbound is like you have
really?
I forget what the names are, but you have like
Your hero.
your
thing.
avatar hero, yeah, like
Your
whatever.
avatar. Now we're talking. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Which, like mine was Jinx, and that just kind of that's very Hearthstone-y. It sits there and it gives me an ability. And
Right.
so the Jinx one is if you have one or fewer cards in your hand at the start of your turn, you draw an extra card. So it's like
It's
trying
a
to-
quantum riddler.
yeah, it's trying to like, you should be emptying your hand every turn, and I give you an extra card if you do that. And that doesn't interact other than doing that. That's it. That's its thing. And then you have a champion or like a legend or whatever that's basically a companion. So it's a preferred selected card. It has to have the companion or like legendary status.
Right.
But you could play as many of these companions in your deck as you want, but you select one to go
be there
here,
all the time. To be your
and
companion.
that's the
Okay.
card that you get to cast from your companion zone.
Got it. Okay.
Just like a companion, except you don't have to pay 3 to put it in your hand or whatever. You just cast it.
Right.
But then you could have like 2 more copies of that in your deck. And then you could have other companions in your deck. And at the start of the game, you'll have all your companions. You'll like put it face down. You'll reveal which one you're selecting, and then the rest
Gotcha.
shuffle in. So it's a weird thing because they're both Jinx. So it's like Jinx is my
main character, but then
main,
you also
like, whatever they call it, and then also my companion kind of. It's my Hearthstone hero and my companion card, and then I could have a different Jinx in my deck as well.
interesting.
So it's just a whole lot.
Okay. I guess I was thinking it was closer to like because in Flesh and Blood you have like your character, right?
Yeah.
And then like your deck has no characters. Like you don't play other creatures. It's just like we're fighting, and we have like moves and equipment and stuff, but we don't do anything else. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's more like you have the Hearthstone and the companion
Okay.
both at the
All
same time.
Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, This is in fact a Magic podcast, so maybe we should talk about Magic. But is there one last card you want to talk about before we do wrap
Hey,
things
I
up?
was
And
talking about avatars, I think.
that's true. You were. That's true. That's true. So we kind of figured out that our ally deck is going to be as many colors as we want. And we will figure that out at a later date. But I am excited to see what that deck's going to be. Whether we build it or, most likely somebody else will. But
Oh, I think it's going to be both. We will build it, someone else will build a better version, and then we will play that
dig our
better
heels into our version. Oh, what? Sorry?
Oh, sorry, we went opposite ways on that one.
Yeah, we did.
And
You went
the
the way
funny
I
thing is,
normally
like-
go.
I was gonna say, like, of the two of us, I feel like I'm more likely to dig my heels into some stubborn opinion about my version of the deck being better, and you're more likely to be like, "This deck's awesome! I pulled it
Just
off
jump
of,
ship. Yeah. Whatever website. That's great.
pulled it off of some."
Did you know that
streamer
these
or
cards work together? You're like, yeah, I saw somebody else do that while I was playing mine. And then I didn't want to add it to my deck because then it felt like I was stealing it from them.
I'm still sure Phoenix Fleet Airship's the way to go.
You got it. It's so powerful.
Do you have
But
any
Jeff,
4/4 flyers I could have?
you could have one a turn. I mean, kind of. It's like one and
Probably
then
not.
4 and then 8.
And they're
But-
vehicles, so.
But once they're not vehicle, oh, sorry, I forgot to bring this up. So, the one thing I did want to say about the airship that is kind of important is that once you have, even if you get to the point where you have all 8 airships and you're ready to kill your opponent, if they kill one of the airships, they all go down. Right? So as soon as you don't have 8, they are no longer creatures. So like you're gearing up. You're like, it took me 3 turns to build all these airships. Let's go. You attack. They
What's
kill.
even the flavor here? Like, I shoot one of these down and they all just.
Yeah, I think what happens is that I think Sokka and Suki like actually blow up all these airships all at the same time. Like they don't do anything. I think his boomerang is involved and Toph does some stuff. But anyway, they're all taken out basically by these 3 characters. But
Love that.
it is
Love
funny
that.
to be like, you spent so much time building up your army and then just one single murder gets rid of all of them. For that attack. And
You know what that makes me think of is the MTG Remy video where he's like, stop assembling Cauldron. There's this one guy who spends so much time assembling Cauldron, his opponent just like, you can tell he feels bad. He's like, I mean, I have a Doomblade.
yeah,
His opponent's like, equip them all to this unit. He's like, I have a Doomblade.
Doomblade.
It's just like 15 mana and turns of preparation countered by like a very common 2 mana spell.
yeah. But if it ever gets the shield on, it's indestructible.
Yeah, if they ever don't respond to that attached trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. That's
Oh,
what the airship is making me feel like. I have to work so hard, and it's so easy to disrupt.
Yeah. But Calder was so cool. And
I
now
loved
I feel like
Cauldron when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, I got to get all 3 of these, because that's amazing.
yeah. And I had the
But I
sword.
do, even at that time, kind of remember thinking, like, I feel like this thing could be a little bigger for the
for the amount of work you have to put into
pay
it.
for it.
The amount of months you had to wait to get the other pieces because at the
Yeah.
time, if you don't know, Cauldron is like it's an amalgamation of equipment that turn into this giant Cauldron creature. But you had to wait for 3 sets to get all the pieces because
Right.
Mirrodin, Darksteel, and
Mirrodin had the sword, Darksteel had the
Mirrodin-
shield, and Fiston had the helm.
yeah, and they were the set symbols for each of the sets. And we had all of them on the battlefield. The helm had an activated ability that brought them all together.
Yeah.
Because originally it was just like, oh, this sword is really cool, awesome. It like, what does it even do? It has like,
It just gives like +5/+5, I think.
it has like exile death touch.
Oh yeah, it has that, and it gives like a huge bonus.
Yeah, +5/+5, and whenever a equipped creature deals damage to a creature, remove that creature from the game. And then the shield gives all of
Is
the
it?
pieces indestructible and gives the creature indestructible. But that's also the first time that you saw, oh, the Shield of Cauldra. It also names Helm of Cauldra. And you're like, oh, what's the Helm of Cauldra? That's going to be cool.
That was a cool way for them to do it. I have to
It
admit.
was super cool. So it was super cool. And then the
And it
Helm
makes
gave.
sense that the shield gives into like his dark steel because that was indestructible.
Yeah.
It makes
And
sense
so
to start with the sword. Like it was well thought out.
it was very cool. And the equipped creature with the Helm, it gives first strike, trample, and haste. And then has the ability to assemble Cauldra for 1 if you have all the pieces out. But like the sword was like 4 mana to play and 4 mana to equip, and it was like, this is so
It's
expensive.
bad. It was so
I even would play it in decks, and I was like, this sword just never goes on any of my creatures. Like I never get any, and if I never did the thing.
yeah.
Even just like exiling people stuff, it just didn't work out because like it was too expensive always.
Yeah.
So anyway, it just makes me sad that they made Cauldra Complete, which is just like all the pieces in one card. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
kind of ruined the fun of that one. Thanks a lot.
But it was like you have to, for listeners, you have to understand this was the introduction of equipment. Was
That's
this
true.
set? They had no idea how to design them. They were all over
Yeah.
the place.
Well,
Like
so
cranial
you have
plating, ridiculous.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
you
what
have
I mean?
Sword of
Like,
Cauldra, which is just like 4 mana and then 4 to equip for +5/+5, death touch. And then
Yeah.
you had Skull Clamp, which is
Right.
1 to play and 1 to
And
equip.
the set symbol for the
Yeah.
set was Sword of Cauldron.
And everybody remembers Skull Clamp.
And there was some Morning Star or something that gave +2/+0 for 1. And It's just like, that's not right. Or the axe, the Bone Splitter axe. You're just like,
Bone Splinter X, that's what it was.
yeah,
I was
this
like,
card's way too good.
I was like the Morning Star gave +2/+2.
The Morning Star sucked. Yeah, the Morning Star was too expensive, I think. But then the Bone Splitter was just like, whoa, this card's crazy. +2/+0 for 1 mana.
Yeah, I do remember there were like a bunch of cats that like the Leonins were really good at making your equipments cheaper and you could move them around and stuff. So
And they got
you know,
bonuses for being equipped and stuff.
yeah. And so I remember playing against those decks and they were very difficult to navigate. To be fair, I was playing just mono black zombie deck that I had put together myself that main decked like mind rot, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas like I did
Nice.
not know how to play the game.
I love those kitchen table magic days, man.
When you go to your LGS with that and you're like, all right, I'm the best person in my play group. And you're like,
Yeah, none of my friends
I-
can beat me.
don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
It's an important moment in every Magic player's life, I think.
In response to you casting that, I mind rot you, and so it gets discarded. It's like,
First of all, your mind rot's a sorcery. Second of all, this is no longer in my hand. Yeah, that was literally Skull Clamp is burned into my mind forever because I played that zombie deck against a Goblin Sharpshooter Skull Clamp deck.
oh, dear
And it was,
God.
I had no idea what was happening.
I think you were literally 0% to win that match.
I really think so. Especially because I was trying to, I think that was when I was still trying to regenerate my swamp cycled Twisted Abomination because I thought that that's how regeneration worked at the time. Because I was like 12 or whatever.
Imagine how good that card would be, though.
I was like, this is the best one.
This card is clearly amazing. Why is everyone so stupid?
Yeah. Why does no one play this card? Yeah. But no. Goblin Sharpshooter, a classic card that taps to ping and untaps if a creature died. And so Skull Clamp just clamps onto a bunch of goblins. You draw a bunch of cards and keep untapping your Goblin Sharpshooter to mow down everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can't give it Death Touch.
They didn't have to when they played against me because I was playing Festering Goblin, which is a zombie goblin. Anyway, good times. Man, I always love going down memory lane. I love talking about new sets. And I feel like we've been doing this the whole episode, Jeff. We've been pushing this off to the very end.
All right,
didn't-
let's get to it.
We should get
We
to
did
it.
promise.
We did promise. I know. I did. I kind of forced Jeff into this. We wanted to quickly do a little checkup on what our original thoughts were for the Spider-Man Omen Path set, and just see how we did with our Pack Zero Pick Ones and our Worth a Slot cards. So with Pack Zero Pick Ones, we did something a little bit different this time. Jeff surprised me by having Gemini, Google's AI assistant, guess what the most winningest commons would be, and see if we could beat it. Which, spoiler alert, luckily we both did. It was getting hairy for me actually for a little bit.
know.
I was actually kind of nervous that I was like, you would clear it easily and I would fall behind. But luckily we were able to. I think the two cards that were really important for us winning was Gemini thought that Obscura Alley Lurkers, which is a terrible blue card that's just a really bad creature.
Yeah, you made fun of that pick, but that's not why Gemini lost. I mean,
It's one of the
it's
reasons.
it's one of the reasons, but there's a much bigger reason that neither of us thought was that bad of a pick.
That's true. And what was that card, Jeff?
Skittering Kit,
Yes.
turned out to be a sub 50% win rate card.
Horrible card.
That's awful by 17 land standards. So
Yeah.
I think we might have, and I was with you that Alley Lurkers was not a good pick.
You were.
But Alley Lurkers lost it like, what, 2%? And Skittering Kitten
Yeah.
lost it like 10%. So
Thank God.
and
Spoiler alert.
I was chucking Skittering Kitten around. I was like noodling with
thinking
the
about it?
idea, but there was
To be
just
fair.
enough stuff that was better that I was like, nah. But
It was also that like every single red card in the set was a D plus or less, and so
yeah. So Skittering
Like-
Kitten was not the best red card, and red was awful. So
yeah, yes, pretty horrendous.
I do have to say, like, what were you thinking picking Shock as the best red card? Like, had such an embarrassing pick when clearly Death Flame Burst was the best.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Jeff? God, he's trying to like throw me in the dirt. Deathflame Burst, both you and Gemini picked this card. It was the best
And we were
red
correct.
common
I don't know what
by
you're thinking.
0.1%. Shock was only 0.1% behind. So like it was such a close toss up
Pretty
between
clear.
the two.
Pretty clear.
Well, that's the only card that had Mayhem that was like any good, basically. I paid the price with this. As you can kind of tell from that comment and some other things, Jeff has won the Pack Zero Pick One challenge by a good margin too.
On the set, I didn't even play.
Yes. He was successful in getting Deathflame Burst, Leyline Weaver, and Spectacular Tactics as three of the best commons of the respective colors. Slash, I'm giving Leyline Weaver a pass because it was like the best.
This is a weird one for picking the best, right? Because like a lot of them could slot into different colors, right? Like if we consider Leyline Weaver a red card,
It is the best red card. But it's also the best green card. So I was kind of considering both of those things. Green, obviously a great color in this format. But Jeff with the Spectacular Tactics really shoring up his any weakness he possibly had. That kind of pushed a bunch of stuff back. And that made it very difficult for me to push past. But the biggest thing was that Jeff's gold signpost uncommon was, of course, Tyrol. Morbius, if you are familiar with the other Spider-Man cards. With a good 60.6%. That I was surprised. That's it's pretty good. It's pretty good for a gold signpost uncommon. I picked basically the worst one. Was the
this
Rakdos.
is really what did it. Yeah.
This is what did it. So you got like 9 points on me because of this. But I would like to mention, I did actually pick the literal worst one. Yeah, literally the worst. I would like to mention, when we did the show, I had already played in the streamer event, and I had told you if I could have picked again, I would have picked Alessos and Pros acrobats, which technically was worse than Tyrrell, yes, but only by a very small margin, by like 1 point. And if you run the numbers, and if I picked Alessos instead of Kivney, I would have beat you by like just a hair. So this is just I want to say this for all the times Jeff tries to tell all of you that I cheat because I play in the event and then we shoot, we do the podcast the next day. This is proof that I don't cheat, and I picked my cards and I stuck with them for the episode because I could have changed it and I didn't, and I could have won and I didn't. So I would like to have that on the record. Okay.
Or did you play it, be like, well, this set is terrible. I'm going to use this as my opportunity to try to make it seem like I don't cheat.
Jeff, you are thinking I'm way smarter than I am. I'm not that smart. I am always trying to do my best. But yeah. Anyway, so Pack Zero pick one. Jeff won. So that means that I think you're up by 1. I think we were tied moving into...
Yeah, we were tied, yeah. I took an early lead and then you closed the gap, and so now
I thought we were trading off, right?
I think I got a couple and then you got a couple, and then we were like just basically going 1 for 1, I thought.
Yeah, I won Aether Drift. You got Tarkir and Final Fantasy. I won Edge of Eternities.
Okay, that's how it was, yeah.
And now you have Omen Paths. And so now we have Avatar, and it is the last one. It's literally coming up next week. We're doing Pack Zero pick 1 for
it's down to the wire, folks.
Yeah, either I can tie it up, or
yeah. This is when he's definitely going to cheat.
No. If anything, history has shown us that if I am an ambassador for a set, I think about the cards too long.
You've had way too much time to like cook with them. And I'm just like, I just picked that removal spell.
Yeah, and I make a horrible choice because I'm like, but I already thought about all the ways that this card could be good. As opposed to just having like a week to think about it. I've been thinking about it for like a month. That's not that long. I haven't had the cards that long. But anyway. Yeah. Jeff, our Wortha slots. Almost not even really worth bringing up. Like, nothing really happened. I think
honestly, I don't know. I haven't played Standard. Maybe people are playing Norman Osborn. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
They're not. Why would they play that card when they could just play VV stuff?
Yeah. So we'll
which
see
is
next
kind of
week,
what we talked about. Yeah. So like, I picked Bayo, Irritable Instructor, Bellion, which I played a lot of.
There you go.
Nobody else did. But I
played
it a bunch.
You're like, people are playing Bellion. I'm like, just person, Zach.
Person, just me. Yeah. And Caveron, which I played a little bit with today, actually. But not necessarily the thing to do, but still a fun thing to do. But as far as are any of them really worth slots in your deck, I feel a little bad about this one.
TBD.
Yeah, I really feel like, yeah, exactly. It's kind of, we will know once the bans happen, and this set kind of got overshadowed by all the bans, right? Yeah. It was like, we knew a card had to be banned. This is the period of time where Standard has been just kind of dead in the water, and we're just waiting for next week.
Just kind of stagnant, yeah.
Yeah. So the 10th...
Well, people finish their RCQs.
Basically. So November 10th is when the ban announcement is. That's next Monday. I forgot that was like a really important part of Magic news, but we just brushed past it. Anyway, here. It's happening. And either Vivi or Cauldron are going. I kind of hope... well, honestly, whatever they want.
Yeah. I mean, Vivi has to go. If they want to also get rid of Cauldron, that's fine.
Yeah, but I think it would
I
be
would prefer they didn't, but
a lot of people are saying that Vivi is not going to go because there's a Final Fantasy holiday box that's coming out that has Vivi in it or something,
okay.
or could have Vivi in it. But I don't think that Wizards hasn't really proved to do that necessarily.
Not recently. I think that's
No.
like an old school mentality about
Yeah.
Wizards theory. I think recently they've kind of shown they ban stuff if it's too good.
Yeah. Like people were making this thing. One of the source material cards, the 61 bonus sheet cards for the Avatar set, is Dockside Extortionist, which is a banned card in Commander. It's also banned in Standard. You can't play it in Standard. Okay, sorry, it's not banned. It's just not legal. Anyway, Dockside Extortionist, Little Goblin makes a bunch of treasures depending on how many artifacts your opponents control. They were saying, oh, well, obviously this card's going to get unbanned because why would they put it in this set otherwise? I'm like, guys, that card got banned last year. This set was probably finalized around the same time. And they weren't even in charge of the format when this set was finalized. So
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the case.
I don't know. I think there's almost no way VV doesn't get banned. I'd be shocked.
It would be very shocking.
Because the deck was still awesome before. Anyways, whatever.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. Yeah, we'll
it's
talk
still
about it
gonna
next
be
week.
amazing
Yeah.
if they.
Anyway, next week we're talking about bans and stuff, but that kind of leads us to our worthless slots were I don't know, unexciting this time around, but mainly because Standard wasn't that fun to play, and also the set was bad. So
Yeah, the set was pretty low power level, so we'll see. I still want to see some Gobins out there, but why would you brew with Gobin when you're just going to get trounced by VV?
exactly, in a deck that's kind of similar to VV anyway.
Yeah.
Bayo was the same type of thing where it's just like once VV's banned, maybe Bayo can do something, but we have some other cards that also do some interesting things as far as like red cards go. So who knows? You also picked Terran Tusk and Rylex, the Accursed, both of which Terran Tusk we could see just as there is a weird creatures with multiple creature types get +1/+1 for each creature type they have. So there's like a weird deck out there that might want to have a Terran Tusk as well as the Zookeeper guy. So we'll see.
Perfect.
But
perfect storm.
The perfect storm. But we'll have to see. It won't be me building it most likely, but maybe somebody in chat will build it or something.
There you go.
And we'll play that. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of our worthless slots on our pack 0 pick ones. And I'm excited to not have to talk about Spider-Man again. Sounds great.
Well, the Spider-Man Magic set.
That's
I talk
true.
about Spider-Man every day.
Wow, it must be really brutal for you, man. I'm sorry. That's so rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's. Jeff, are you ready for last call?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. So as always, we rate our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, these are just fun ways to rank beers. This has nothing to do what tier. Sorry, we're not trying to make you feel bad. That's what I'm trying to say. Because everyone's in different tiers at different times, so don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers are trash. They're horrible. We spit them on the ground. We pour them out and we hate them. They're gross.
I know. We spend most of the episode trying to make you feel bad about your magic skill, but we're trying to clarify that, like, right now, that's not what we're trying to do. So silver beers are bad beers or just kind of boring, uninteresting.
Yeah, gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't really drink them again.
Platinum is solid. You would totally drink it again.
Diamond beers are exceptional. You like these a lot, and you show them off to your friends.
And Mythic, these are the absolute best of the best. You would recommend these to anyone who you talk to. Oh, who do we give this award to tonight? You know what? I think it's got to be the Great Divide Guide.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great
these are the
Divide
Great
Guide.
Divide Guides of the beer world.
So this Marzen we've been drinking, how do we feel about this on the rating scale? This Oktoberfest inspired lager.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about how this is kind of a new, exciting style for me in the sense that I mostly started drinking it last year when our friend of the show, Ryan, told me about the Oktoberfest beer that Fairweather was doing, which is the brewery he works at, saying it was, one of the best beers they make. So I was like, fine, I'll try your Oktoberfest beer, because I basically gave it no thought. Before that, I was just like, it's the lager, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is not just a lager. It's kind of good. So I'm sort of new to the style in a way relative to, the other styles. That being said, I thought this one was pretty boring. Like, I think if Ryan had given me this when he was like, oh, this is going to get you into Oktoberfest beers, that would not currently be into Oktoberfest
Yeah.
beers. This one matched more what I was expecting at that time of like, oh, it's just kind of a lager or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it was dark and it did have a bit more flavor, but like I'm kind of hoping for a bit more punch.
It was darker than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
in
like
color,
visually
at least.
it was dark. I don't think it tasted like it tasted very, I guess, smooth and kind of lagery and not as I wanted there to be a bit more body to it that I've come to expect from the style.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it, but it didn't meet my
expectations and your
expectations, or wasn't my hopes more like, because it's like with IPAs, or I'm like I have a very well defined expectation, and this is more just like I've had a few ones that I think are pretty good, but I don't know what the broader style actually like. What's the average? I don't know.
Totally.
But this is let me down a little bit.
I would agree. It's definitely not my favorite one that I've tasted. And yeah, it seems kind of forgettable. Like even as we were drinking,
forgettable
it,
is a perfect word. Yeah, that's the word I was kind of circling around and trying to find.
Yeah. Then I kind of blasted through it and was like, let's just say I'm not gonna ever look for this one again, and like I'll look for this like kind of style again, obviously, but this is not going to be the one that I point to people and show like, oh yeah, this is the one that you should get. I'd be like, let's look for a different one,
Yeah,
if
this is a classic gold for me.
Yeah, I think this is for sure a gold. I would pick this over a lot of our silvers, which are like,
yeah, like it had some flavor. It was fine.
Totally.
But it's like I'm trying to get someone into an Oktoberfest beer. It's not what I'm giving them.
Like this is the kind of situation that like we say that gold beers are fine, but we wouldn't drink them again. And the situation where we drink them again is if like you go to the cooler at the party and you're like, oh, it's like you can either have Coors or this, and you're like, well, I'm definitely gonna have this instead of Coors.
Yeah, this is way better than Coors for sure.
Or you're at like your Metro or your grocery store that only sells certain kinds of beer, and you're like, well, there's this one or all the normal stuff. I think I'll just get this one. That could be a situation where I'd have this again. Which is very unlikely that will happen. So yeah, gold for the Marzen. I think that fits pretty solidly in there.
I think this is the gold beer.
Yeah, totally gold beer. It's even got gold in the can.
They knew.
There, see?
They
knew. They totally knew. But Beyond the Pale is still a great brewery. I still like their stuff. I'll always look at it. So
Yeah.
this has no real reflection on them specifically. All right, Jeff, do you want to go to closing time?
Let's do it.
Close this puppy out. You can always reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Might also find us on Arena itself with the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at @theregular_Zach on Instagram, TikTok. I'm also on Twitch 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I play not just Magic, but also just video games now, I guess. That's kind of like what's happening. But anyway, Jeff, where can they find you?
Best place is our Discord channel. Come sign up, share your thoughts about what decks you want to play, cube draft, do a regular draft. We want to see your wins. Well, if you have a bad beat story, we'll be there to sympathize too. It's a great little community, and once a month we do a peasant cube draft. It's a lot of fun. Use up those common and uncommon wild cards. There are no rares in this cube, but it's still pretty high powered, so it's really fun. We do that once a month, and the link to join is at the show notes.
That is right. We'd love to have you there. We're playing actually this next week, the
Next
second
week,
Wednesday.
yeah, it's the cube draft.
Yeah, very exciting. Second Wednesday of every month. It's also free. But also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. Go to our YouTube channel. Leave a little comment. It really helps grow the podcast, but primarily it's helpful because we want to know what you think. And it means a lot to us, and it makes us feel really nice inside. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that AI is not taking over the world yet, because both Zach and I beat it at Pack Zero Pick 1, baby.
Good night. All right, that's fine.